And first up, we got Dave's Way of Kings update. Dave's in the process of reading the Way of Kings.
Yes, I am in the process of reading Way of Kings. I did take some notes. So for everybody at home, I did finish part 1, and I wrote down my thoughts and just questions. Before I even bring any of this up, I don't think I'm gonna ask these questions wanting an answer, because I think the answer for a majority of them is going to be Raphael.
Yeah.
But I just want to throw those questions out there so you guys can understand my thought process. Yes, I did get to part 1, and then I finished the interludes, and then the chapter after the interludes, and then I took a fat break. We went on a trip for a funeral, and then this past week I've just been prepping for a week off, so it's been really busy. So I apologize, but
you've got a week off, and you're gonna plow through the Way of Kings, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Right,
maybe,
Dave?
Maybe. All right.
I do have a knife.
Word plow there.
Yes, thank you.
So the first note I wrote down was Kaladin Stormblessed versus 6 soldiers. It's that introduction to Kaladin from the perspective of that slave boy, or like
Who eats it?
Yeah, he's like about to fetch and die, and then Kaladin shows up, and he's just being a badass and taking on these 6 soldiers. I completely forgot who they were fighting, but from what I remember, it was a petty border dispute, and that's what he was fighting at the time, and he dreamed of making it to the Shattered Plains. That was his end goal. He's like, I want to take these people. But within this introduction, I learned just about everything I feel I need to know about Kaladin. Like, the dude is loyal to a fault, and I get that vibe from him. The fact that he paid money to get this like 15, 14-year-old boy on his squad because he knew he was going to die if he was with anybody else is insane. Like, the dude cares, but he's also a badass. And it's like having the name Stormblessed. I don't know how he got that name yet, and I'm sure it'll pop up. But,
Oh, you'll find out, my boy.
Yeah, there it is. There's the Rapho. But yeah, Kaladin Stormblessed, probably my favorite character.
There will be a point. There will be a point where you will audibly go,
Yeah! Yes! So
that's what you'll get.
Yes,
So there is a time jump. I didn't. Throughout this, there are Shallan chapters. I'm not fond of them, but I do recognize that there's probably some important stuff coming on, and it wouldn't be wise to skip them. But I don't really have a lot of notes written down for the Shallan stuff because it's just really boring.
Here's the one thing I will say about the Shallan stuff is it kind of rounds out the story, because a lot of what you get with Kaladin and Dalinar is the war side of Roshar culture.
Which I fetch with.
But with Shallan, you're getting the more civilian life, and it gives you more of like what goes on within the kingdoms. So
I see that.
It rounds out, it gives you the full palette of Roshar, which I like.
Okay.
But it is boring, I'm not going to lie.
There is a time jump. Because the chapter where we're introduced to Kaladin ends with, they say there was like a shard bearer heading towards them, and then it just ends there. And then I think there's an 8-month time jump, and Kaladin's a slave now, and he's got a special brand that the others don't, and they're like really confused how he has it.
He's got a shash.
Yes.
It's like a slave brand.
Mm-hmm. But it's like isn't it like a... It means you're a dangerous slave or something?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. Something like that.
Oh, the answer to that's going to piss you off.
But doesn't he have multiple brands? I think they were talking about, they're all on the brands are on the forehead.
He does have multiple brands, yes.
Okay. So, because when I'm remembering, I remember them describing there were different brands, and this was something that I learned from the Shallan chapters is the men don't read books, but they read glyphs.
Yes.
And these brands are glyphs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Weird shape-shifting female speaking to him. And then I didn't read the text during this part, so I put wind spirit ?
Wind spren.
So it is a spren. I recognize that. Fetch and weird. They kind of introduced other Spren in one of the Shalon chapters. There's like creative Spren,
Yep.
and then there's flame Spren,
Fear.
stuff like that.
Like every emotion has like a spren.
Okay, and they haven't really gone too deep into what these things are, but they show up when you're really in it. Like the creative Spren were showing up when Shalon was doing this really elaborate artwork of
The priest.
the priest, but also what's her face?
Yasna.
Yasna. So yes, I'm really interested.
Oh,
in,
you mean Jasna?
No.
I'm really interested in
Jasna.
these Spren. Like, what makes Sylvana so special compared to
Sylfrena?
Sylfrena, sorry, not Sylvana. It's Syl. What makes Syl so special compared to these other Spren? And,
Rapho.
like, yes, Rapho. Yep, there we go. Shalon comes from a noble family that's poor now, but they don't know that. I wrote that down, and so her intentions, of course, up and.
Do you know what she's doing yet? Like what her goal is?
Yeah, she's trying to steal the soul caster
Yes,
that
okay.
Yasna has because apparently it's like a really powerful one. And I found out towards the end of part 1 what her dad did to get wealthy. He was using a soul caster to create marble quarries, and that's a big no-no.
Yep.
So I don't know how he died yet. We've got little glimpses, like little flashbacks. I'm assuming he was assassinated or murdered because somebody found something out that they weren't supposed to. But Rapho is is
Be a big fat Rapho there.
one thing one thing I wrote down. I noticed at this point I was maybe like 4. Bright Lords. Yes, Bright Lords. What the hell is a Bright Lord?
Just means you have a light color eye.
Okay.
Not like a blue eye. A blue eye could still be a dark eye. They have to be a light shade.
Yes, in the Shalon chapters, I noticed there was a lot of talk about light eyes and dark eyes, and so your eye color is your status in society.
Yep.
And so you can be born into a lower. Okay.
So if you like had hazel eyes, you would be considered a light eye.
And you know, like if you pick up like shard blade, shard plate, you become a light eye.
I did not know that. Okay.
It's not that big of a deal, but
No, in the chapter that I just finished, we were talking about, and I think I remember talking to you about it a little bit about shard bearers and the shard plates and the shard blades. Badass, by the way.
All that chapter will piss you off.
yeah, there's so much stuff coming that I'm just like biting my
I'm
tongue right
really,
now.
I'm
and
really waiting to see you. Oh, that's right. I'm really waiting for your reaction on what's going to happen.
for
It's
when-
going to.
for when
I'm
Dave
so
goes- for when-
freaking
for when
excited.
Dave goes, yes! Whoa!
or when he goes like this, when he goes like this.
I'm not going to lie. There was one chapter I was like, I almost stopped. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because you're gonna feel that, and then you're gonna feel Jay. Do it again.
Oh yeah!
You're gonna be doing both of those things a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Yes. No. Yeah, no.
Yep, exactly.
It took me probably like 4 or 5 chapters to really pick up on this. I noticed at the beginning of the chapters there was like a little like sentence or phrase that was uttered, and then it would say collected on insert time.
Is that a spoiler?
Yes, that is a big spoiler.
So it seems like
those are death rattles.
yes,
That's all you gotta know about them right now.
they're called death rattles.
Words that people say when they're dying.
I'm curious as to who's collecting them, and who is
You're asking the right questions, my boy.
Yeah, you're asking the right question.
See, I didn't even think about that question. Like,
Really?
I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yep.
Like, I was like, I feel like this doesn't do anything for me.
I think there are 2 approaches, and that's one of them.
Yeah. For me, that was my approach. I was like, I don't care, but Dave's noticing. So
the Bridgemen. This part clicked for me. They're basically just a suicide squad, and I remember I texted the group chat a clip from the actual Suicide Squad movie where Deadshot was like, "So what are we? Some type of Suicide Squad?"
Yep.
And I was like, "No, that's basically what it is," and it badass.
their whole role is to put bridges out. They are
They,
expendable.
they put a bridge down and then they pick it up and run in front, and then put the bridge down and lift it up and run in front.
and they
And-
die
and-
all the time.
Yep.
They're
Especially
always
Bridge
dying.
4. Bridge
Yep.
4 specifically experiences the most amount of death, and that's where Kaladin is. And where
Teft and
I just
Sigil.
met
And
Tef.
Moash.
I don't know any of the other names yet, but I'm assuming Death
and Rock.
is gonna start limiting itself because Kaladin's starting to take more of a leadership role with Bridge 4.
Yep.
I wrote down.
You met the guy that says Concho yet?
I
Oh,
don't
you probably
think so.
haven't.
No,
yet.
Lopin doesn't come until later.
Yeah.
Out of the 3 interludes, one of the questions that I wrote down was the fact that Zeth is a shard blade bearer. Shard bearer?
Read and find out. My
Yeah,
booty.
fetch, man. So I learned a lot about him where he's got an oath stone and he's bound to the oath stone, and there were glimmers, snippets, little peeks at him being a tragic character where it's like he does not want this life, but he is born into it or he is sworn to it. So he's one character that I want to know more about.
And
The book opens up
And
with
you
him
will-
assassinating a
and you
fetching
will-
king.
You will not find out more about him till Wind and Truth, my boy.
Son of a bitch!
yep. You have so every book is like a perspective. So like this book you have the flashbacks of Kaladin, right?
Okay.
The next book you'll have the flashbacks of Shallan.
Fetch!
It's good. It's good. It's good.
It actually is pretty good.
It's good.
Slap.
Yeah. Yeah. The third book you have flashbacks of Dalinar.
Okay.
Fourth book you have flashbacks of Venli and Eshonai, who
Which I
I
haven't
don't
met
believe
yet.
you've met yet.
No, not yet.
The fifth book you have flashbacks of Zeth.
Fetch, man. I gotta make it all the way to the 5th book.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And-
though, it's kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I'm glad you're liking it so far. I'm glad you're getting the things you're getting out of it.
Yes, yes. I am liking it so far.
Get jacked, my boy, because you just got through like the rockiest part.
Yeah, I would say that chapter, like, the first part is the hardest. to get through.
Where's your mic?
Right here.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna throw this out there for all the book enjoyers. I don't typically read books for enjoyment. My primary modes of entertainment ingestment are movies, TV, and video games. You guys are probably gonna make fun of me, but this is definitely the biggest change of pace I've experienced. Where it's like with a book, they've got to illustrate this stuff for you. You can't just see it, and so that's been probably my biggest struggle is having patience to let it illustrate itself.
And there's no better author to start with than B. Sandy.
That-
The only thing about B. Sandy is his prose.
Oh
Just is
my
not
gosh!
very
Just
good.
stop with the prose.
That I appreciate you saying that because that does make me feel better. But yeah, part 1, I give that 3 thumbs up. It was tough, but
three thumbs up.
yeah, I give that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he like put his thumb up in the air 3 times.
Holy cannoli!
So yeah, that's it on Way of Kings.
Yeah, and I look forward to updating you guys on what's coming up. I've had to like re-listen to chapters because I listen to this while I'm working, and like something will happen and I lose my train of thought and I'm not listening to it, and then something happens and I'm like, oh fetch, who the heck is this character? So I have to go back and just so that's another thing. It's like this thing does take longer. I'm gonna say this. Part 2 only being Dalinar and Kaladin
Yeah.
made this so much better because part 1 I dreaded the Shallan chapters, and spoiler, I finished the interludes at the end of part 2 going to part 3. Part 3 opens up part 3, the dying, and then it said Kaladin and Shallan, and I'm like, the dying, that's what I'm going to be doing through all of part 3 every time Shallan.
yeah, it does. No Dalinar chapters. In
No,
part
it's
3.
it's Kaladin and Shallan in
Okay.
part 3. So I thought I was eating good, and I was with Dalinar.
But those Kaladin chapters, man.
Yeah, Kaladin
Okay,
has
so
just got...
let's break this down character by character because Dalinar and Kaladin have not met yet.
No.
So let's
They are close, though. Like, in proximity, they are really close.
okay. So let's bust through Kaladin's arc real fast. Actually,
that's-
I want to talk about Kaladin last. Let's go to Dalinar.
So
Let's get your thoughts.
the way I take my notes, they're chapter by chapter. I didn't
okay.
separate them by characters. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Just give
Okay.
your thoughts.
So at the top, the first chapter, we're introduced to Dalinar. We learn he's the uncle of the king,
Elokar.
Elokar. Yes, I think it's Elokar. He's got two sons.
Yep.
Adolin, and
Renarin.
Renarin. And they're all high princes, and then obviously the king of it's Alethkar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there's like a bunch of stuff about
Alethkar.
There's a bunch of like politics going on, talking about relationships, how Dalinar used to be known as the Black Thorn. He's often described and referred to as a old war hero, a warlord. The dude used to be great, but he's not great now. And they kind of sprinkle hints as to why he's more subdued now, and a lot of it has to do with that night that Gavilar was assassinated. We learned that Dalinar was present, but he was drunk, and I'm jumping around because I have thoughts about stuff that came up. So there was a giant chasm thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. We got some action with shard blades.
Yep.
And
10 heartbeats. I told you.
Yep, the
that
10
chapter
heartbeats
will happen.
Yep, 10 heartbeats. I learned some names. Oathbringer is Dalinar's shard blade, and then Sunraiser is Elokar's. There's a book on this bookshelf that says Oathbringer on it.
That's Dalinar's book.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, you should be because it's freaking awesome.
Like when I read this chapter and we came and filmed last week, and I said that says Oathbringer. That's the name of a sword.
Yep.
Oh, dang. There was a reference to 10 fundamental glyphs being etched in a shard blade. And I remember learning this in part 1 that the women are the ones who read and write. The men only learn glyphs. And it's like, it's not heretical, it's taboo for men to read.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like heretic, they need to die. It's just taboo. It's like, gem hearts. This is when I started, because they touched on it a little bit in part 1 when Kaladin was with the Bridge 4, where he was like, what the heck are they capturing? We learn, I questioned, like, what is a gem heart? And so if you go further down, we'll get there. They name dropped the title of the book. They referred to an ancient text called The Way of Kings. And so my theories were just like, does this have anything to do with the beginning of the chapters where people, it's like something's quote somebody said before they died, and then it notes.
Who is the author of The Way of Kings again?
They haven't talked about it. But The Way of Kings, in there, it talks a lot about how kings or high princes shouldn't be drunk or like, be under the influence of hard drink. And that night that Gavilar was assassinated, Dalinar was, unfortunately. And so that's where a lot of his guilt is coming from, is he wasn't there to protect his brother.
And do you know why Dalinar was like drunk all the time?
No.
You don't know that yet.
No. They haven't.
You haven't had like he's gonna say a name and it's like shh, like it's like he can't hear this name.
No.
Okay.
Very interesting. There's some back and forth between Sadeas and Dalinar, referring to what he said that night and what he wrote that night. And it's like this really big secret, but it's revealed that King Gavilar, wrote. He wrote, and that's a big deal because men don't write in this universe. So I'm like, oh, very interesting. It must have been really important. Elokar, the son of Gavilar, the current king, is paranoid. So he likes to present himself as stoic, heroic, badass. I'm a man, I'm a king. But he's actually really paranoid of being assassinated. It might have something to do with the fact that his dad was assassinated. So there's probably some trauma there. I don't think Elokar, they haven't talked about Elokar being present for that. So I don't think like he witnessed his dad being assassinated or anything. But yes.
I will say, Elokar is an interesting character. What the heck? That's all I'll say.
High Prince of War. There was a discussion between Elokar and Dalinar in private where Dalinar was talking about breaking some pact, abandoning a pact, and calling Dalinar as the High Prince of War because Dalinar isn't really interested in trying to get rich from war. He just wants to end this. Whereas all the other high princes, they're like, oh, I've captured more gem hearts. No, I've captured more gem hearts. And I learned a lot about the economics of this war in the Shattered Plains, where it's like if you have more gem hearts, then you have more shards to spend on soul casting, better materials for this and that. So it was really interesting because I didn't think I'd be able to go that deep into it. But the fact that B. Sandy has broken it down for me and I'm able to understand like where it's going is quite nice. I appreciate that. The Way of Kings linked to the missing radiance. There was a reference to Dalinar because it's I wouldn't say it's taboo, but the other high princes don't follow the Way of Kings. Dalinar does, and he's raising his two sons to follow it as well. I think it was Sadeas that talked about, no, maybe it was Adolin that brought it up.
Adolin does, like, he holds a little bit of resentment.
Yeah, so I think it was Adolin that brought it up about how it had something to do with the missing radiance. They've talked about the ancient priests or the ancient church and how man, I can't believe I forgot it because I remember hearing it and I didn't write anything down. But there was something about in the past, there were prophecies and stuff there was a church and the church ended up being false, or the way they were going about things was wrong. And there was a big apostasy of sorts where like the church was disbanded and like a new one took its place. And that somehow is tied to the radiance. And apparently the radiance, at this point, it says that the book was linked to the missing radiance. Later on, I think I wrote down something about how the radiance betrayal really confused me because I'm pretty sure these radiants are those guys in the prologue that were all leaving their swords. Mm-hmm. And that didn't seem like a betrayal to me, at least in the way it was framed there. So something's going on. That had to have been a long time ago for something to be influenced for them to think it's a betrayal.
4,000 years?
Yes, that's a lot of time for people to just change it. Mm-hmm. So I personally don't think that the Radiants betrayed anything. I am curious how they went missing, but Rapho, and I'm probably not going to find out until book 4.
5.
Fetch you. Dalinar gets time travel visions during high storms.
Yep.
And I wrote down, are these high storms connected to the old Knights of Radiant? Were these high storms present 4,000 years ago?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that these visions, he's talking to the guy that wrote the Way of Kings, right?
No.
No?
Well,
who is he talking to then?
That's
He's talking
why
to the Stormfather.
that didn't get revealed yet.
Not. I mean, he knows he's talking to like a being.
Well, yeah, it didn't get revealed who it is. Mystery Man voice in the vision is this man similar to the godlike knights from the prologue. Act with honor, and honor will aid you. That's what he told him, and then the vision faded out.
Oz, you're making that up.
He's only had one vision so far.
Yeah, this was.
I'm gonna just do one of these numbers real quick.
Yeah, just forget I said that.
I'll probably forget. I was really interested in this vision because there were these night creatures called Midnight Essence, and then guys, I'm ignoring it. Stop talking about it. It's okay. They talked about fighting stances, and I wrote down it was really similar to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Like the wind stance, the earth stance. Yes, I did like that quote, act with honor and honor will aid you. Kaladin was trained by his father to be a surgeon, like his dad was a surgeon. So there was a lot of flashback chapters where Kaladin, it was something about there's two types of people, those who take lives and those that save lives. And Kaladin's like, can't I take life to save a life? like just this conflict. He's always wanted to be a soldier, but his dad's like, no, you're going to be a surgeon. So that would be why he's so good at saving men, is because he's got a huge medical background. Kaladin is taking on a leadership role with Bridge 4 at this point in my notes. He's trying to mold the Bridge 4 into more than just the highest turnover rate, the highest death rate bridge out of all of them. This isn't Sadius. Who is it? Sadius? I forget who they said the High Prince was that they're working under.
Oh no, it is.
It is Sadius.
Yeah, that's not
because
a spoiler. It
Dalinar
is
doesn't
Sadius.
use bridge crews. He uses the bridges style siege things,
Which are slower.
They're
And,
slower.
and I gotta ask, do you fetching hate light eyes?
yeah,
Because when you're in Cal's perspective, I fetching hate like light eyes.
yeah.
I'm like, nah, dude, fetch these guys. Like, I'm with Cal 100%.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any of them get any joy.
I-
They're all bad.
I can't wait to see Dalinar and Kaladin interact, because Dalinar is a light eye. No, he's not a light eyes.
No, he is.
But he didn't grow up as a light eyes.
No, he did.
Who's the one that is a light eyes currently but didn't grow up as one? I got introduced to one and I forgot his name. I thought it was Dalinar.
I don't remember.
Fetch. I'll figure it out. I learned about Rock. Rock is dope. I like Rock.
Rock is great.
He can
Teft
see
is great.
He can see Syl. I like Teft.
You like Moash?
Nah, I don't think I've gotten much Moash.
Okay.
Teft started talking more towards the end of part 2, and I'm starting to get a little more of him. But Rock has done a lot more talking than Teft. Like I feel like
Teft is like Cal's right hand man.
Rock is like the heart. Teft
Okay.
is like the right hand.
So
I would say. I think that's accurate, right?
Where I'm
Yeah.
at the end of part 2, beginning of part 3, Teft, he's just barely started talking, and right now it's really just Teft, Cal, and Rock. But Rock has been definitely the more hard. I feel like I've grown attached to him more.
I think I agree with like originally like the first book, because Teft. No, I'm not gonna say anything. But
I'm sure Teft will come in more because he named his freaking dog after this guy. So this guy is obviously going to be a great character. I'm just waiting.
Don't expect a lot.
Yeah.
Like Teft is just like, I just like Teft as a character.
Okay.
Don't expect him to be like a big deal.
Okay.
What do you think about Syl?
I like Syl. Syl's been growing on me. I think it's really interesting that she's a Spren with a consciousness. Is that how you can describe? She's not like other Spren.
Yeah. Again, you'll find out.
Yeah.
But you like her?
Yep. Rock can see her. That's pretty cool. Rock is basically Pacific Islander.
I still don't.
Rock is a horn eater, so he can see these.
I still don't understand what horn eaters are. I know they like live in the mountains, and that's like all I know about them.
We will be getting a horn eater novella
Oh really?
Yes.
I'll be reading that. When?
about Rock.
Oh, it's
Novella.
Rock's book.
It's
Nice.
Rock's story after Oathbringer or Rhythm of War. Whenever he like goes,
Sanderson, this is to you.
doesn't die. He doesn't die. I'm not
Sanderson,
saying that.
if you kill Rock in this book,
Oh, he won't kill Rock. Anyway, what else?
Sorry. I was gonna say Rock is really similar to Royd from.
Yeah.
That's very
I think
similar.
that is
Yeah,
a
I think
good-
that's why I like him so much, because I'm like I really like Royd. There was a King's Feast. It was very elegant. It was talking a lot about the way it was structured, very similar to their
oh,
homeland.
you met Wit.
Yes.
Ah,
Wit,
the flute.
Wit was actually introduced before this feast, but he did. Oh, excuse me. He went and did a lot of banter.
Has the flute scene happened yet?
No.
Okay.
Is this the one where he's like making fun of like
Everybody
Sadius
coming
and,
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
he's making fun of everybody sitting on a high
So,
stool.
Dave, this is a character. Wit his name is Hoyd. This is not a spoiler. Hoyd is like in all of the Cosmere.
So, you
Hoyd
know Patches?
Patches.
from
Dark
Dark
Souls?
Souls.
Yeah.
He's like that, but like a good guy.
Okay.
Well,
We
we
don't know.
think.
We
Actually,
don't
we
know.
don't know.
We don't know.
That's a good point.
We have to assume
He
Hoyd
only has
is
good interactions with our characters.
Yeah. But Hoyd is a character that throughout all of the Cosmere, he's in Mistborn, he's in all of the standalones, he's in obviously Stormlight. So Hoyd is important. We don't know why yet, but he is.
Okay. So Wit is an important character. Okay.
He goes by Wit in this book,
In
but
this
he goes
book.
by Hoyd in everything else.
Okay. Radiance betrayal. They talked about the Radiance betraying the people. Blah blah blah. Rock, he's there to get a shard blade. He wasn't a slave, and he was talking a little bit about his culture, and he was actually a cook. He was his cousin's cook. And when his cousin lost, he gave up his possessions, being Rock, and Rock cooked for Sadeas, High Prince Sadeas, and he put poop in his soup because he was like, the food is really like spicy and stuff, so he put some poop in it, and Sadeas didn't like it. I was like, it's pretty cool. The Bridge Four are they're on chasm duty, and they're all singing. I think that's the Morash is the guy who's no. He's a younger guy.
Open?
He's singing. He's like a younger guy who started singing in the chasm.
Is it Sigil?
No.
Singing in the chasm?
Yeah. He's like singing songs in the chasm while they're all checking bodies and stuff. And I learned about the Parshmen.
Yeah.
Yes. The Parshendi. They grow armor. That's
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah. Have you met one yet?
No.
Okay.
Not like they've described them and how they've got like gems in their beards and stuff, but I still don't know.
But there is a Parchman on Bridge 4, right?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Maybe there is, and he's just not talking. Because right now, Bridge 4 is like barely opening up. Right now, it's still just Rock, Teft, and Cal being the primary speakers, and then Gaz. I fetch and hate Gaz. I hope he falls off a cliff and fetch and dies. Fetch that guy. His one eye. They're down there, and they're not believing that Kaladin used to be a warrior before this, a soldier before this, and he tried to keep that a secret when they're all talking about their pasts. And Kaladin like ends up like just falling into old habits, and he picks up a spear and starts hitting like little poses and stuff in front of everybody. And the book said this, and I put it in quotes because this was a badass freaking line. You should not be shocked when you give Kaladin Stormblessed a spear. I was like, dang.
Spear is Cal's weapon of choice, baby.
Dang. I've never been a spear guy, but Kaladin makes me like spears.
Yep.
Dalinar thinks he's going crazy. Before, he was really listening to these storm visions he was having, but he's actually starting to think that he is going senile. This was after a raid that they did.
Sign me back in.
And Adolin is like, maybe you shouldn't be listening to these visions because maybe they're not real and whatnot. Got to learn about this weird telecommunication board that they were using like gemstones and stormlight to essentially have some female scribe at Dalinar's camp communicate with Yasna, which is freaking dope. They were like writing back and forth to each other, which is pretty dope. I didn't know they had that type of tech. That's just magic. That's just storm light.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That has like a specific name too, right?
I didn't pick up on the name.
It's okay.
Story of how Galinar discovered the Parshendi. Gavilar. Yes, not Galinar. Gavilar. Chasm fiends. At this point, they were talking about, or at least Yasna was talking about the chasm fiends in her studies. The drawing of the chasm fiends, she said that it matched pretty similarly to Voidbringers of old ancient texts. So I'm like, oh, maybe the Voidbringers are back.
So you think that the Voidbringers are the Chasm Fiends?
They could be, or some evolution of them.
Okay.
Just in my, this is me putting on like a tinfoil hat and just predicting what's going to happen based off of all of the other forms of media, all the other stories I've heard outside of this, just, common tropes. I think they are Voidbringers, or like a new version of Voidbringers.
I want to say, I think you're asking the right questions
Okay.
again. Like you've consistently been asking the right questions.
And I promise you guys, I'm not like throwing this stuff into chat and
No.
Getting summaries. Like these are all just the way I'm thinking about it. And I'm not that this book has too many common tropes. It's just this is just how my mind's like piecing things together as I move forward. So I will
Okay, so where are you currently? What chapter are you in?
chapter whatever the first chapter of part 3 is. It's a Shalon
Can you
chapter.
check that?
You will get to a part where you will not be able to stop.
Yeah, that's exactly 34 through 36.
34 through 36.
Those are the chapters where you're going to be like, okay.
So I'm on 29.
Yeah, dude, you're fetching right there. Okay. So
Storm Wall.
34, 35, 36.
Those are some
by
short
the, By the
chapters.
end of 36, let me just double check real quick.
Yeah, part 3 is huge, though.
Because in these chapters,
That's another Zeth chapter.
this is the point where you're going to go, oh fetch, this is happening. Okay, hold on. Yep. Okay, so by the end of 35, that's the one.
I'm trying to think of. It happens that early?
Yeah.
Oh wow. We're thinking of the same thing, right?
Let me just.
Oh, I did finish those interludes as well. Just wanted to throw this out. Didn't really care much.
Don't look, Dave.
I'm not. Didn't really care much
Oh,
for
yeah,
interlude
that is
4
cool.
and interlude 5. Interlude 5 kind of expanded my knowledge a little bit on Spren. Still really interesting things. I'm kind of just learning to go with it. It doesn't make sense, but who cares? And then interlude 6, a work of art. This is a Zeth chapter, a Zeth interlude. He's going and trying to kill. I'm trying to remember who, because I was reading it on the way here. But he gets there, and he's trying to assassinate some guy for his current Oathstone bearer, his current master. And somebody is there, beat him to the kill, and he's like hyping Zeth up, like, oh, you're capable of so much greatness. And it turns out that this guy in the shadows that's talking to Zeth, he's masked, and he's got like a gem next to the oath stone on his like chain, and he's like, my master has like some things that we need you to do, and he's like, well, blah blah blah, you're not my master, this person is, and he rolls his old master's head in front of him, and then he like shows the oath stone, and then he hands him a list of like really powerful people, and he's like, okay, so yeah, once you kill them in this specific way, then come back and we've got more for you. And Zeth is like man, this is one of those things where it's like the things that I'm interested in the most are in these like little outside chapters that aren't a part of the main
That's
book.
so interesting to me.
That'll change.
And I'm gonna I want to know more about Zeth. I want to know more about these Radiants. And it's like I'm being told, oh no, that's like later in the series. And I'm like, fetch.
Journey before destination, brother.
Yeah. But Zeth, in the beginning, I was like, man, this guy's a bastard. He killed the king, and he's an awful person. But after this interlude, I'm like, oh no, Zeth is actually a really good person, because it talks about how like he would purposefully, if he had a choice, he would only take the assassination contracts or like do the assassinations where he didn't have to kill any guards, because it was less bloodshed that way. Because he doesn't like bloodshed. I'm like, wow, what a tragic character.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's part 2. It was kind of all over the place.
Part 3, dude. Once, I'm not even kidding, once you get to 35, I'm expecting a bunch of texts from you saying this is freaking awesome, and that is when you're going to be bored.
Based off of my reading habits, I might get there midday Monday, or early Tuesday.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Okay.
Because it's awesome, and you only get that experience once.
Okay. I need to preface, I've been spacing myself out, except for like the last like 10 chapters of part 2. We made an agreement where Oz wouldn't play a game with us if I didn't finish part 2, so I just like I churned it out. I can't do that anymore, man. Like I hit a stopping point where like I just like I'm like duh. Like I have to stop listening to the book and like take a second to just breathe and collect my thoughts before I go back into it. 'Cause I'm a simple human being, going from Diary of the Wimpy Kid to The Way of Kings is quite the jump. I have thoughts. Just right off the bat,
I love this. This is my favorite part of the week.
this part is it freaking made minced meat of parts 1 and 2. Part 3 Hey, I made the joke last week about how they called it The Dying because I said I would be dying a lot.
yeah.
It was long and it had Shalon chapters. Shalon, oh man. Oh, okay. When I get to that part, I'll share it because fetch.
You liked the Shalon chapters?
I liked the Shalon chapters.
Okay.
Wow.
So in the beginning, they talk a lot about just the strategies that High Prince Sadius is using with the Bridgemen. The Bridgemen are bait. They are meant to draw the first volley of arrows so that the normal soldiers live.
Hell yeah. Getting so jacked. I know exactly what you're going to say.
So there is the lieutenant or like another Light Eyes. His name is Lamril. He thinks Cal is going to inspire a rebellion, and Gaz owes him money. So Lamril is like, I want Kaladin dead. All right, so Gaz and Lamril are plotting to kill Kaladin. 2 weeks go by, and Bridge 4 is finally practicing together with Cal. In part 2, towards the end, Cal was like doing morning routines by himself, just trying to inspire Bridge 4. Well, now he's basically got everybody working, which is great. We like teamwork. Cal had an idea to use the bridge as a shield. We will soon find out that was not a good idea. Cal picks new member for Bridge 4, a short, one-armed man named
The
Lopen.
Lopen.
Yeah,
I love Lopen.
yeah. I love the way he speaks. Lopen.
If I ever have a three-legged dog, its name's gonna be Lopen.
I wrote down Cal tried to blackmail Lamril after the new bridge carry method was a blunder. He instead orders troops to beat Cal, but not kill him. Cal is then hung upside down on the side of the bridge crew barracks facing eastward towards the storm. So they were essentially going to leave him out to be judged by the Stormfather. Lamril was then executed by High Prince Sadius. Responsibility ultimately fell on him for that disaster that happened. The disaster was when Cal went out with...
Oh, yes. Okay, 51 was the last one you
Yeah.
read? Hell
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
baby!
I've got
What
thoughts.
was? What?
Oh, you
Okay.
find out everything with Amaram.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Oh, baby, I just had to Google it because I'm like, son of a bitch, I hope I didn't.
That's why I walked in and I said, fetch Light Eyes.
Yeah, bro. Yes, bro.
All right, so Lamril is executed by Sadius personally. Like, Sadius actually killed him. Responsibility ultimately fell on him for the disaster that Cal caused. Cal was essentially left out to be judged by the Stormfather. Then there's like the whole scene of him getting thrown around by the storm on the roof, on the side of the building. And then there's like a calm and it's dark. You see the face of what I think is the Stormfather. It doesn't say, he just said he sees like a big white face. And
Racist.
before this happens, Teft gives him a gem sphere. And Cal is essentially talking to him like it's a big like Jesus moment where he's like, let the men come out, and if I open my eyes and look at them, like I lived. So that gem sphere was like important because it's like, okay, we spent like the whole book up until this point, they talk multiple times about how, you bring these things out into high storms to recharge them with Stormlight. So it's like, this thing's going to charge with Stormlight. It'll help, keep things bright for him while he's getting thrown around out there. I think, and so I'll get into my theory after this. After all that happened, they go out, they think he's dead, he's all cut up and beat up, blood everywhere, and he opens his eyes. And then I think he dropped the gem sphere, or he's like holding onto it, and Teft could see it, and it wasn't glowing, which is impossible because it was out in a high storm. So how is it not glowing? And so here's my theory, all right? Kaladin was called by the Stormfather or the powers that be, the Almighty, for some purpose, and he essentially was... I want to say he was gifted the powers to what Zeth does, like breathing stormlight. Maybe it wasn't gifted to him. Maybe he could do it the whole time, and he was just finding it out. But for whatever reason, up until this point in the book, I think that he has the power to breathe stormlight like Zeth. So he'll start doing some cool stuff like that. There are other implications here, like how does this play into Like, well, I can't get into that because I'm not at that point. I get into it later. We learned a little bit about the Parshmen, a little more about them. I haven't learned where they came from or what they are, just that they are essentially brainless slaves. I'm getting a vibe that these suckers have been domesticated and that the Parshendi are the real people. So, like, there's
Raffo.
yeah. I don't know if I'm hitting it pretty close. But there's like a part in, I think it was like a recount. Oh no, it was the bath scene, because I remember telling you guys you didn't warn me about the bath scene with Jasna and Shallan. But Shallan is reading some like manuscript from Gavilar when he met the Parshendi
What do you
for the
mean
first
we
time.
Why did you want us to warn you about that?
I joked about it, like it being like sexual in nature
oh.
or something. Yeah. I was like, you guys didn't warn me. Because I was having feelings. But yeah, no, it's like I feel like generations ago, the Parshendi had an encounter with the Alethi and they essentially enslaved them. And just through generations of enslavement, the Parshmen are a domesticated Parshendi. And that's a theory I have. Jasna and Shallan, they went out, and it was something about philosophy.
Yeah, this is a pretty big part.
Yeah, well, kind of just to cut the crap, Jasna killed 4 thugs in an alley with a soul caster.
She just turned him into stone.
Yeah, she turns one into like poof, or like catches him on fire or something, and then the other, she turns him to stone, and then the other 2 turn to smoke, and it's like, holy crap, I didn't know you could kill people with soul casters.
Yeah.
That's insane. So soul casters are very powerful.
Not only are they very powerful, they're very important to the economy and the Stormlight series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shallan, being filled with like anger and rage that Jasna used a soul caster for that purpose, she did end up stealing Jasna's soul caster and swapping it out with the broken one that she had, that her father had.
This is what like biting your tongue is like.
out of
I know.
spite. So at this point, the Ardent, man, I wrote his name down later. I forget his name.
Oh, the sweet art guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote down,
Who gives jams?
yeah, I said, not a fan of the Ardent trying to save Shallan. And then he immediately started flirting with her. And I was like, Ardent flirting with Shallan is gross as hell.
What is that guy's name? It's not important. You can keep talking.
I have it later on. But he starts talking about how the soul casters are actually really simple to use. And I was like, oh, I thought they required like a lot of knowledge and like faith. Because there was, in one of the chapters, they were talking about how the soul casters usually come in and they'll do soul casting at night when nobody's looking because it's considered holy. And so I was like, oh, like, I guess you don't have to be a man of faith to use one. And Jasna is an example of that because she is an atheist.
Well, agnostic. I think there's a difference.
Agnostic. Okay, that's fair. I said the new Bright Lord Hatal and his bitch of a wife, where she does all the talking for him and he just stands there, and she's like bossing around the bridge crew, and she's like, okay,
Okay, yes.
yeah, you guys are on like mandatory cavern duty for good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't like this lady.
Yeah.
Down below, Teft said the thing, journey before destination. And then the full thing, this is said to be the phrase or the saying of the Knights Radiant: life before death, strength before weakness, journey before the end. I'm like, dang, that goes hard.
Yeah, bro.
I want that on my wall.
Yeah, bro. Speak the ancient oaths.
And then we get some flashbacks. Kaladin's brother Tien was conscribed into Bright Lord Roshan's army. Cal ends up pulling a Katniss Everdeen, and she's like, well, he didn't replace Tien, but he joins
to protect Tien, because Tien's kind of a little bit of a run. I don't think I've brought him up before because I don't really.
Well, he's significantly younger than Cal.
Yeah, I haven't brought up the flashbacks.
Mind you, Cal is only like 19 years old.
But that's a full grown dude.
Yeah, but
And he's like 16 here. Like, it has only been like 3 years since these events
That's
have
true.
happened.
Yeah.
So-
But Cal's not a small guy though.
Cal was
No,
actually, Cal was a pretty solid dude before,
Yeah.
and his brother. How old was his brother when he was?
I think it was like 16 or something.
No,
Or no, he had to have been like
He
13.
was like-
No, he was like
He was
13 or
young.
12. something
Yeah.
like that.
So this chapter, so this happened during a time of day when my daughter was messing with my phone. So I think I missed a chapter, and I wasn't taking very good notes because I was doing chores while doing this. So I apologize. But Shalon attempted to use the Soulcaster that she stole, and ends up accidentally losing control of it and plunging herself into the Shadesmere.
Shadesmar.
The Shadesmar, badass name. Something about her drowning in a sea of glass spheres
Yeah.
and strange symbol-headed entities that she was drawing in the sketches before when she like takes her mental image.
Again,
remember this
back
chapter at
to
all.
biting our tongues.
Yeah. And then something happened where she's getting approached by one of them or a handful of them, and she's like referring to her greatest sin, and the book said something about 10 heartbeats, and her reaching for something. Guys, don't answer this. Does she have a fetching shard blade?
You don't want me to answer this.
Don't answer it.
No. Raffo.
Raphael.
But Shalon possibly having a shard blade is badass. There was a chapter about Kaladin's high storm vision. He has a really powerful one where he's like flying over the lands, and I'm pretty sure he sees Zeth killing somebody. And the voice is speaking to him. Don't know who it is. It calls.
I love this, but this is absolutely killing me too.
calls Kaladin the child of Tanavast. The face reappears and says, "Odium comes."
Odium.
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 Yeah.
Odium comes, the most powerful of the 16. And so I have some questions. Is he the missing Knight Radiant from the interlude, or not the interlude, but the beginning of the book? Possibly turned evil. He betrayed the people, and that's why they think the Knights Radiant are bad and betrayed the people, because he was the one that did it.
Here's the thing. I don't know what the book is leading you to believe right now. So
Yeah, it's been so long.
Yeah.
And there's so much context that we know that you don't yet
Okay.
that it's hard to answer.
I'm just going to say no.
Okay. Well, I know that the name Odium is like the Morgath from the Arthur and the Littles, or like Voldemort. where
I
it's
don't
like
know what the hell you just said.
What
Arthur
did
and
you
the
say?
Littles.
Arthur
I
and
thought
the
you were
Littles.
saying Morgoth from like Lord of the
Spider-
Rings.
Wick
That's
Chronicle.
that's where I thought he was picking up from.
But Syl like flips the fetch out.
Arthur and the Littles.
Little deep cut for you,
that
man.
is a deep cut.
Arthur and the Littles.
Where do you pull these from?
Apparently
Arthur
from
and the Little
a deep
People.
area.
Oh my gosh, Dave. What the
Oh,
hell?
Arthur and the Minimoys.
Oh yes.
I thought it was the Littles.
Arthur and the Invisibles.
Arthur
This
and
must
the
be the
Invisibles.
sequel. Arthur and the Minimoys.
Invisibles. But yeah, that guy, I think that's like Morgath or Morgoth.
Okay. Okay, whatever.
They call him the Evil M. They don't speak his name because when they do, everybody like freaks out. So Syl freaks out when Teft asks her about Odium. So you guys can't answer this because Raffo, but it's like, is Odium a thing? Is it an event?
It's
like
not important. You can
Ragnarok?
forget about that
Just
name,
forget it.
actually.
Yeah?
Yeah,
you
it's
just
not
forget
important.
about it?
yeah,
He-
forget about Odium.
He's not. He doesn't ever come back.
Yeah, forget about him. No, that's a big fetching deal. So remember the name.
Okay. Bridge 4 is planning an escape. Teft is gonna, or not Teft, Cal is gonna teach them how to use spears. So that if they have to, well, they plan on killing a small group and making a run for it.
Oh, do you get to see like Cal like using a spear for the first time.
That was in
And it's
part
like
2.
he's dancing with it.
Is that not the coolest thing?
Yeah.
I love Cal with the spear.
Yeah.
All right, so
If I ever get like a long tattoo on my arm, it's gonna be a spear like this,
Like Bridge 4.
and it's gonna have like stormlight coming off of it, and in the middle it's gonna say like life before death. Like,
Oh, that'd
in
be
the
cool.
middle. That'd be
Dude.
freaking sick.
that
Get your
would-
design. I got a boy.
It's too
I got a guy.
too much.
All right, so
Pansy.
there was another flashback. It was that day a year ago when we first met Kaladin, when he was fighting with his squad, and then there was a shard bearer approaching them.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
He ends up killing a shard bearer
Yeah, Cal kills
Cal.
a shard bearer.
by
Now,
himself.
That's how freaking awesome Cal is.
Yeah.
Now, when I say I've been a reader my whole life, I've read books my entire life. My mom raised us to read books, and we did. I have never, ever in my life felt this kind of emotion reading words off of a page as I did in this moment.
Yeah, I
So-
got chills when it talks about how he took him down.
Like, I didn't-
by himself.
Yeah, I
What-
didn't. No, the rage that comes after this battle.
Oh,
is
yes,
what I'm talking
yes,
about.
yes. We'll
Oh
get
my
to that
God.
because
Yeah.
this was a flashback, and then there was, there's actually a chapter before this because I skipped it. I didn't write it down because this was what I was talking about. That guy, Capsule.
Cabsol,
That-
yes.
That's his name. He's an Arden.
I checked him 5 minutes ago.
Oh, did you?
He tried to kill Yasna through the bread and the jam, and he ends up poisoning Shallan and himself, and then they like wake up. Well, he's dead. Shallan wakes up in a hospital, and it's like, yeah, he tried killing me. We don't know who he was or who he was working for or working with to try and kill Yasna. I think it has something to do with that soulcaster not being hers. Really interested, kind of convoluted right there, but they talked about how, what was it? The bread was laced with backbreaker powder, and the jam was the antidote. So, like, throughout the Shallan chapters, this capsule Arden would show up, and they would eat bread and jam. And so that's why it hadn't affected her before. But, yeah, so that happens.
So wait, who gave them the jam that was poisoned?
The jam wasn't poisoned. The jam was
Oh, the
the
jam was.
antidote.
Who gave them the poisoned bread?
Capsule.
Oh, that happens this early on.
Yeah.
I literally.
Well, because I don't think
literally just remember
I don't think
this.
you do much with
I
Shallan
was
in the
gonna say,
last
what the
part,
hell
though.
happens at the end with Shallan?
I know. I think the next part doesn't even have Shallan in it, right?
No, it does.
I don't know.
But like barely.
There's 2 more parts after this. But yeah, Shallan or Yasna finds out that Shallan stole the
That all happens in book 2,
soulcaster
though.
and is pissed. So that
I think
happens,
so.
and then there's the chapter of the flashback with Kaladin killing the shard bearer, and then he just like doesn't take the shards. He just says, "No, leave them to my highest ranking warrior. I forget his Caleb or something." And he like leaves it. All this is happening in front of High Prince Amaran and like a couple of his like soldiers, and then Kaladin's men. Like,
Who Kaladin believes that Amaram is like one of the good
Yes.
light eyes.
Yes.
You got to come closer in, bro. I'm worried about you being cut out.
All right, so
Sit on my lap.
chapter 51. I read that on the way over. Kaladin goes back to like the barracks or like the chill out spot for the warriors, and in come his men first, like the rest of his squad. They're like, okay, and then Bright Lord Amaran, and then a couple of his high guards come in, and they're like, okay, why didn't you take the shards? And he's like, well, I don't want to be like you. He says he doesn't want to be one of them, which is noble. And so he's like, but I want to leave it to my best warrior. Because, and you know, kind of a side thing, Cal knows that if his guy is lifted up, they'll be taken care of. And so Bright Lord Amaran is like, okay, and just slaughters all of the witnesses, leaves Cal alive, and takes the shards for himself. And he's essentially like, I can't let anybody know that I didn't win these rightfully. And then he brands Cal a slave with the Shash brand, the worst of the worst, and just, you know, puts him into a life of slavery.
Yeah, dude. When I say I've never like reacted that angry towards a book before, I mean it. I was so pissed off. This character doesn't exist. This is not a real person, and I was fetching pissed.
You're like, I'm gonna
Like,
climb into this book and kick your ass.
I don't think I've hated a character more than I hated Amaram in that moment.
Yeah, I fetch and hate him for being scummy like that, and it's like I kind of saw the writing on the wall about how like Light Eyes just aren't good people, except for Dalinar.
Which
Dalinar is the only one that I hold up, and I'm like, this guy's good. Everybody else, like Sadeas, Sadeas is the only one that I remember the name of, but they talk about a couple of the other ones. You know, the ones fighting for money right now. Fetch all of them.
What B. Sandy is setting up right now is just insane, because you already have an arc with Cal where he began to trust a Light Eyes, right? And then betrayed horrifically by one, like made his life a living hell, killed everybody, and so you are believing now that Cal is maybe eventually will trust Dalinar. Like, that is what you're hoping, right? But you know Dalinar's a good guy, and you now know that Cal has already gone through this process. He has hated them, began to believe that one of them could be good, and hates them again. And nothing is going to change that anymore. So what B. Sandy has set up in this moment right now is what drives the book for me at this point forward. It's like, okay, you know these guys are going to meet up at some point because they're so close in proximity. And what does that mean? It's like, how do you have a character like Dalinar, who you know is good and you believe and you trust so much, and you have Cal, who you know and love so much, but you know his beliefs and you know what he's gone through, and it just makes you so, you know these guys.
Yeah, like my two favorite characters so far are Cal and Dalinar, and it's like the fact that they're like, you know, that when you put two magnets on the opposite ends and they push apart, I think that's what it's going to end up being, because
Believe it or not, Dave, you haven't even made it to the best part yet.
No, you haven't gotten to my buckle up part.
The part that will make you clench your butthole for the next hour
is coming up very soon.
It
is. Part 4 is like the last big chunk of this book. Part 5 is really quick.
I mean,
Part 5 is really
I
quick.
tuned into Oz listening to this for his second time on like a road trip. I had chills the entire time we were
I'm pretty
listening
sure I
to it.
cried.
This is just the most incredible payoff in any book I've ever read.
Yeah.
So skip 51. So including the interludes, I have 9 hours and 14 minutes left.
Okay.
At 1.5 speed.
And Dave, that 9 hours is gonna fly by.
It will fly.
I mean, you're fetching hooked now, right? Like,
Yeah.
right? You see the chapters right here.
yeah, so you can see all the chapters. You can see part
Yeah, so
4.
part 4.
And then-
Yeah, see how short part 5 is? Like, part 5 is like,
And I don't even think there's an interlude between
but
part
words.
4 and 5.
Chapter 67, words.
Jeez.
It doesn't get much better than that.
No, what I will say, one final thing I wanted to say, I added it towards the end. Because I guess I did add the part about Bright Lord Amaran. He talks about ghost bloods.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what the hell a ghost bloods is. It
Yeah.
sounds like a faction.
It comes back into play. I wouldn't put too much thought into it
Okay.
right now.
Not quite yet.
It sounded like just something in passing, but it put a label on what sounds like a group.
It's pretty badass.
It's pretty
Yeah.
important too, but I also wouldn't focus on it right now.
Okay.
And it's not like a spoiler, I don't think, because Mistborn, like there's, you know, the Cosmere is all connected. So part 1 of Mistborn is like the main like the saga, and then you have the next 4 books, which is like set in like a Western period.
I don't know if I would be saying this.
I mean, it's not a spoiler. Like you just will eventually find out like Ghost Bloods are like a big deal in the Cosmere. Like that's it. Like the next the next Mistborn book is going to be all about Ghost Bloods. Like the
I
next
think it
Mistborn
is
series.
called Ghost Bloods.
It's called Ghost
Yeah.
Bloods.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope. Okay, so
So they're important.
question about the Cosmere, because I feel like I'm at the ground level. Is the Cosmere a universe or is
Yeah.
it the planet?
No, it's the universe. So
Okay.
Roshar is the planet that you're on right now.
Okay.
The Mistborns take place on,
Scadrial.
Scadrial. There's a bunch of different planets.
So Kaladin is on Roshar.
Yeah, the two main ones, like the two main planets that are like big deals, are Scadrial and Roshar. Like these 2 planets are gonna be big.
Okay. And other than Wit, I'm assuming there's no character jumping.
Wit is the only one so far.
Okay.
For him, there's another one. It's his apprentice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't
Has
know
the
that.
flute chapter happened yet?
No,
You haven't had the wit flute chapter yet?
No, I think that's in 4.
Ah, fetch. Okay.
4 has so much in it.
Yeah.
4 is, like 4 has a lot. Like when I listened to 4 for the first time, I was like, I'm like it killed me. There's
wit.
so much.
There's
good
a
stuff.
chapter in this with wit and a flute, and you'll learn a lot about wit in that
Okay.
chapter. So
All right. Well, yeah. Just to wrap my thoughts, fetch Light Eyes.
Fetch Amaram.
Yeah, fetch Amaram.
Yeah.
Fetch
Fetch
Amaram.
Sadius.
Fetch Sadius.
4L Sadius.
Fetch Gaz. I fetch and hate Gaz. I'm waiting for him to die. He's not a part of Bridge 4, and I hope he doesn't carry forward with them.
Yeah, fetch Gaz.
Yeah, fetch
Yeah.
Gaz.
yeah, fetch Gaz.
Fetch guys.
One-eyed bitch.
Okay,
All right. Is that all you got?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for part 4.
That was good stuff.
Let me tell you, part 4. So far, it's like everything. I think of it like a freaking staircase. Like just the next part just gets better than the last, and I'm not used to stuff like this. Apparently, this is common in books. Maybe I need to read books more. I I did finish this early last week and realized that I took almost like no notes, and so I've like been running around like a chicken with his head cut off today, going back and listening to parts and like trying to like remember things other than just the big fetching reveal at the end of what Dalinar does. Because that's the part that like was left with me, other than like little bits. So I've been trying to fill in the gaps between those.
what does
I'm going
Dalinar do
to-
again?
I'm going to stay silent the entire time you're talking and only talk about what you bring up because I put my foot in my mouth way more than I'd like.
What does
So-
Dalinar do?
Do I want to get to that part?
Let's just start from the beginning.
Okay.
We'll get there.
All right.
So you were just so hooked that you didn't even take notes?
Yeah. That's what I like. Completely forgot to take notes. I was just so into it because like before, like I've been trying to get a system down where I pull my phone out and jot down whatever note I can if I hear an important detail. But this one, it like just part 4 was so fetching good.
Is this only Dalinar and Cal, or does Shalon have a bit in this?
There were some Shalon stuff.
Okay.
And so, like I said, I might have missed a couple things, and so I apologize, guys. But we'll go with what I wrote down. I wrote down something about Dalinar speaks of a possible war with the other kingdom. Trying to remember. I think that was supposed to be the kingdom of the people that Zeth is from. I think is what they were talking about.
The Shin?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. There was another storm vision though, and this was a big one. Dalinar was in the perspective of a wall guard, and they were like, the way it was painted out in my head. If you guys have played Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, like in the beginning of that game where you're playing as Talion and like the Rangers and they're patrolling the gate of Mordor. Like I was thinking that, like that's where they were hanging out. And they see just like a bunch of Knights Radiant just running towards them. And I'm like, oh shoot, is this the betrayal? Like they're going to attack these people? Because they've referred to a betrayal before. And so I'm thinking, oh, like betrayal as in the Knights Radiant like turned on the people and like attacked them. They're running towards them. But all like not in unison. It was kind of like it started out with like a couple, and then all of them started doing it. They started to lay down their shard blades, like plant them in the ground, and take off their shard plate and just lay it on the ground and turn around and walk away. And so it was a betrayal. They betrayed man, basically. Like they were like protectors, and they turned their backs by just giving it all up. And they returned to like another army that was there. They referenced that there was like another army that they were returning to. I don't know who they are yet. And then all of the people from like the keep that Dalinar's perspective was taking place from, they all ran out and they were taking the shard plates and the blades and attacking one another. So they were like coveting it. And so I think that's what started this whole like thing amongst the Alethi with the shard blades and shard plates. They called this the Day of Recreance. That was a part that I wrote down. They talked about the Night of Sorrows, the Everstorm. I'm completely spacing out about that right now, but I wrote it down. But that voice that's speaking to Dalinar in his high storm visions, he said, read the book, unite them. So it's been like a constant theme that this voice who's speaking to Dalinar in these high storm visions, he's like, keep to the codes, keep to the read the book, read the Way of Kings, follow it, unite the high princes, unite the kingdoms. It's like, okay. They reference old magic and Dalinar seeking out a night watcher. Dalinar, Renarin, and Adolin decide to prove or disprove these high storm visions, and so it's this whole elaborate operation where they're going to get... I forgot her name. Who was Gavilar's wife? Widow?
Navani?
Navani, yes. So they get Navani to be his scribe, to write down like what he's having in these visions, and then they're going to approach Yasna and essentially confirm whether or not like certain details or things were like fact or fiction, to figure out if these things are real.
Right.
I've partook in enough fictional content in my time to know that these visions are definitely real. Like Dalinar's not going crazy. He's totally having real visions. This is freaking awesome that he's having time traveling visions. I learned about Yesrin, the king of the heralds, when they were talking about the Way of Kings, and it was talking about the one king who essentially walked across the world to prove that if a traitor or a slave or a common man can do it, why shouldn't a king be able to do it? And this idea of a good king is one who can do everything, who can get down and dirty with his subjects and, put a shoulder to the wheel, push along. And I agree with that. I think the best
Somebody
leaders...
should make a song out of that.
Maybe somebody might have had to sing that at the beginning of church today, and that's why it's in the front of my mind. So this is where I missed a couple chapters that I completely forgot what happened, and I didn't write anything down because I was just so into it. I learned about the true author of the Way of Kings. His name is Neodon. He's like the person who's speaking to Dalinar during these high visions, I'm pretty sure. Very important guy. And then throughout all this, one important thing I forgot to bring up was there's a lot of stuff going on with Kaladin and the bridge crew. They're working together. That stupid freaking harlot of a woman who is the wife of the high prince that's over the bridge crews now, or the Light Eyes. She's like, okay, you guys are on full-time bridge duty, so you guys are always going to be on call during the day, and then you're going to work the caverns at night. While Cal and the bridge four go in the caverns at night, he's teaching them how to use spears, all the formations, how to use them. Rock knows how to shoot a bow, apparently, and he's getting better at it. And they're hiding their spheres.
Yeah, you can say Rock knows how to shoot a bow. You can say that, Dave. You can say I can give you a million guesses as to why I'm saying that right now. You would not get it. You would not be able to guess why I'm saying that. But let's just say, man can shoot a bow. He can.
Teft is like...
He can, Jay. You know why, right?
Could he...
Teft is like...
My dog?
Sorry. Your dog, Teft? No, I swear, man, every time I think of Teft, I think of your dog, and it's tripping me out about the character in the book, because I'm like... Wait, why is he so old? It doesn't make sense to me. Because the first time I heard Teft was his dog. I didn't know about Teft from the book until reading it. He told me that he named him after him. But Teft is like, no, Kaladin, you're a Radiant. And so Kaladin's like learning about these powers that he has, where he's Storm Blessed. The dude can harness Stormlight. He's learning how to do it. We learned, and it's an important detail, I don't remember them going deeper into this, But Syl is important because she's like taking something from Kaladin, but giving him the ability to breathe Stormlight. And she made a reference that that's how it was done before. And in one of the high visions later on, where what's his face, Dalinar is speaking with Noadon. Noadon makes a reference about how like, oh, that's just Hope Spren or something, and that's what they're supposed to do. And like everybody has their own Spren that communicates with them. So Cal's Spren is Syl, and I'm like, oh, that's freaking dope. I wonder if like, because there's different types of Spren, right? You know, like Rod Spren, Creative Spren, and stuff. If a Creative Spren picks you, and you're like a Radiant with a Creative Spren, if that like picks like a certain path you go down, you know not,
You got it.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. I was like, no way.
No, just kidding.
So I'm like all over the place with this, guys. I did a terrible job taking notes because there was just, I'm like really dancing around what really happened towards the end, and it was fetching insane. But I need to establish that Sadeas and Dalinar, well, first, Sadeas, being the High Prince of Information, reveals that, hey, Elhokar was, there was an assassination attempt on him, but it was not from Dalinar or his camp. It wasn't because the strap was broken. His shard plate was actually sabotaged. There were broken gems, spheres placed within it. And so they were like tampered with, and him falling off of his mount would have been enough to like shatter a shard plate and leave him vulnerable. So it's like, okay, this is a lot more elaborate than just cutting the strap off of that. So Sadeas is like, okay, you know, Dalinar is not really like a bad guy here. Dalinar's like, okay, great. Well, hey, Sadeas, you want to work together? Because Dalinar has like the better fighters, where Sadeas is quicker with his army because of the bridge crews. And so he's like, let's work together. Let's claim these gem hearts together. Let's claim the plateaus together. And so they go on a couple runs.
So
and
Dalinar's strength stat is maxed, whereas Sadeas' speed stat is maxed.
that's what the way I'm viewing it. That's how it is. Cool. It's like strength versus speed. And so that's where that's where Kaladin is starting to see Dalinar more out on these bridge runs. They're like, oh, that's Dalinar's people, and they make a point to always like point out how like clean kept they are, how like proper his army is, because Dalinar is by the books.
Do you know what book Dalinar is going off of?
The Way of Kings. Yeah. Yeah, I learned about that in like part 2.
Yeah.
I've known about that.
Name drop.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm reading that. I said, no way, guys, I'm reading that. I'm reading The Way of Kings.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, this is so cool. Well, so that's how Kaladin is within proximity of Dalinar, and he learns about Dalinar, and he like meets one of his sons earlier in the chapters, and his son is like a really good guy. So it's like, okay.
Oh, right. The scene.
Adolin.
Yeah.
Adolin with the whore.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Adolin saves her.
Yeah. From
Yeah.
Sadeas' men.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's all coming together. It's like
And Cal was like, oh.
Cal was like, that's one of the Colins. Surely he's a piece of crap, and then he does something good, and he's like,
he was like,
okay.
Planting seeds, perhaps.
I still hate light eyes.
Yeah. And fair enough, dude.
Okay, so I've established that Dalinar and Sadeas, they've gone on several plateau assaults together. They're working together. It's going great. They're seeing success. One of these runs, however, was towards what they're calling the Tower.
The Dark Tower.
No,
Oh,
that's Stephen King.
yeah.
Okay, but no, there's like a plateau with like a big spire on it, and it's of strategic importance. And on this plateau assault, Sadeas convinces Dalinar to use Sadeas' bridges instead of Dalinar, so Dalinar can get there quicker. It's like, okay. So Dalinar doesn't have his big siege bridges, and normal bridge assault stuff happens, blah, blah, blah. Well, Sadeas ends up leaving. He just withdraws full on. He leaves Dalinar and his army essentially there to die, takes the bridges with him. He sees it as like an advantage that he can have to protect himself, obviously, but also because he still views Dalinar as weak, because he follows the old codes, the old way. He's not with the new way that Sadeas is. And I just want to say from the beginning, I fetching hated Sadeas. Fetch that guy. And as the bridge crews are leaving, of course, none other than Bridge 4 is there. And it's like this big like dilemma that they're having. And he's like, fetch it, we're going to go save him. So they go in, they get the bridges down, they save Dalinar and his people because it's like a big bloody battle, and they get out of there. I'm giving you some rough notes here, but that's like the big thing that stayed. It's even bigger what follows. So there's essentially a confrontation between Dalinar and Sadeas, where he's like, hey, yo, you like tried to kill me. Like, what the heck was that? And Sadeas is like, you can't prove that. You're never going to be able to prove it. He's like, you can't. No one's going to believe you because everybody thinks that Dalinar is going crazy. And he's like, okay, all right. Well, I want Bridge 4. I want those guys. And he freaking gives up his shards. He becomes shardless for these guys. And I was like, yeah, no, like it was, that was powerful, man. That was powerful. Like that is so badass. Like I can't stress enough that it's like, oh my gosh, I witnessed Kaladin go from soldier to slave to even worse than a slave. Like, dude, like freaking Suicide Squad stuff. And then he takes it. He takes it and he works his way up. And he turns Bridge 4 into this well-oiled machine. And it's like to watch him like go through this story and then he's free. But it's like, okay, like why the heck would Dalinar give up his shards? And that's something that there was like a confrontation, well, not like confrontation like between Sadeas, but it was with Adolin or Elhokar. No, not Elhokar. Adolin or what's Sadeas, or not Sadeas, Dalinar's other son? Renarin. It was one of the two. They were talking like, why the hell would you get rid of the shards? That's our like family thing. Like you're destroying the family. You're destroying our kingdom, our namesake, our keepsake. Yeah. Like why would you do that?
When he takes out Oathbringer, and Cal's like, great, we're done. We shouldn't have gone back for him. We were wrong for trusting him. And he just takes Oathbringer and he just puts it into the stone and he just leaves it there and he's like, that for this bridge crew. And going back to when Cal goes, I just have to read it because it's just so. Well, it gives me chills.
I had to go back to this quote because this quote is what gave me chills. Okay. And I made sure to write this.
If it's the same one I have right here.
So this was the one between Dalinar and one of his sons, and he says, "What is a man's life worth? A life is priceless. Coincidentally, that is the exact value of a shard blade. So that trade was even." And like
baller.
Oh my gosh. I freaking
so awesome.
I honestly I love Bridge 4. Like Bridge 4 is so cool. I freaking love Kaladin. But what a guy. Yeah. Like Dalinar is someone I want to be. Like someone I want to strive to be because I don't think I can think of anybody more like true to his word and a true good leader than Dalinar for doing that.
You're gonna love Oathbringer, my friend.
I've been hearing a lot of things about that, and I'm excited. And what is that? That's book 3? Okay.
That's Dalinar's book.
Which, I mean, that wasn't even it. There's so many things that you can quote in this book, and that wasn't even the one I was thinking of.
What was the one?
It's the whole time Bridge 4 had been talking about escaping and getting out of this bridge crew because
like thinking they would have to fight their way out.
They're so done and they have an out. They're like, "Hey, we are free. We can go. We can leave." And Cal sees in the distance, he sees Sadeas betraying Dalinar, and this gets me every time I tear up every time I am listening to it or I'm reading it because it's just so freaking good. He says, he's looking out, and he goes, "We have to go back," Kaladin said softly. "Storm it, we have to go back." He turned to the members of Bridge 4. One by one, they nodded. Men who had been the dregs of the army just months before. Men who had once cared for nothing but their own skins, took deep breaths, tossed away thoughts for their own safety, and nodded. They would follow him. Kaladin looked up, sucked in a deep breath. Stormlight rushed into him like a wave, as if he'd put his lips up to a high storm and drawn it into himself. "Bridge up," he commanded. It's like, holy crap. Like, that is a scene that is just like unmatched in my head. And that is like, it encapsulates everything that I love about Stormlight. Is like, you have people like Bridge 4 where every single one of them you've gotten to know. You know Teft, you know Moash, you know Lopen, you know Rock, you know all these guys. You know how badly they want to get out and their reasons for why they want to get out.
You also know how much they hate Light Eyes.
Yeah. And the fact that Cal sees them and he goes, "We have to go back." And all of them are already there. They're already gearing up. They're already there. All of them are there. And they just nod. They're like, "Let's do it. We're going in."
So cool.
It's like that is what it's all about.
It's because Kaladin is such a good fetching guy, and he's like picked them up and like gave them a purpose. Because before it's like, it was just a suicide squad. We're not going to live this run. We're going to die, and then if you survived, you're going to die the next day, and that's all their mind was. But now it's like they had an objective, they had something to do it for, and Kaladin gave it to them. And that I forgot to bring up other things about how awesome it was and how smart it was that they were like they learned about. Is his name Shen? I think is his name.
That's
Parshman
what they're calling him right now.
That's working with them. How he got like super pissed off that they were like messing around with the Parshendi body.
Right, I forgot about that.
And they end up like desecrating some Parshendi bodies and like getting their bones and like making armor and a shield out of it to piss off
Carapace.
the
So
Carapace.
on the Parshendi, there's like this natural armor. On these Parshendi that they're scavenging from, they're taking that off to use as armor. Yeah.
And like it pisses them off, and so they start targeting Kaladin, who's using like Stormlight to like avoid them. And apparently he's like, "I've always been doing this. That's why the arrows were never hitting me. Like they've just been going around me." And I thought that was such a cool reveal that it's like it's been there all along, and that was really cool.
And when Dalinar, he like thinks that all hope is lost.
Yep.
And he's like, "I'm dead." And he just sees one little bridge crew running towards him, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, and he's like, he's looking at Cal, and he's like, "This guy is like leading these guys, and bullet or arrows are flying off of him."
He's fetching insane.
Yeah, it's just so good, dude. And that moment when Dalinar plunges Oathbringer, that's like you have
That's
two
powerful.
moments like back to back where I'm just like, holy crap, this is good.
And this is only book one.
And you have led up to like how important shard blades are. You've had two moments now where Cal has like encountered a shard blade and gives it up because he's like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with it. And it's like now Dalinar, it's like Oathbringer is like the shard blade right now. And he just takes it and all hope is lost, gives it to Sadeas. And you're like, that is insane.
How poetic is it that Kaladin basically threw his life away over a shard blade? Like he didn't take it, and his life became a hell for the entire book.
Then he gets
and
it
then
back.
he gets his life back because of a shard blade.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So that was an awesome chapter.
Does he maybe plug your ears real quick? When does you're not listening?
Maybe don't
Moash,
talk normal.
when does he get one? You didn't hear that, did you?
No.
Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Did it already happen? When does that happen?
I don't remember.
Did Kaladin, did he take out another shard bearer?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I don't know when this happens, so.
I don't believe so. I do know the next chapter that followed that had the weird name was actually from the Parshendi point of view. It was
that was an interlude, wasn't it?
Eshonai?
Yeah. No, that was an actual chapter.
Oh, okay.
Or at least it was on Audible. But it was the Parshendi point of view where Eshonai is a shard bearer for the Parshendi. Because I remember that the Parshendi do have shards. And Sadeas is the one who gets his shard plate, I believe. because he didn't have shard plate before, and he gets shard plate from a Parshendi that he killed. I think that's what happened.
Okay.
But this is the Battle of the Tower is what I'll call it, and so she is like surveying the battlefield and is like, oh, this carnage, it's terrible, like the fighting, because I've always like thought about that. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to think that the Parshendi don't want to kill the Alethi, and I think that there was like, think of like any freaking modern military shooter campaign between the US and Russia, and there's always some like evil Russian terrorist cell that starts it. I think there's like an evil Parshendi terrorist shell that veered off and killed Gavilar, and that's what started everything, and the Parshendi are just defending themselves.
Dave is always asking the right questions.
There was the reveal that the Parshendi can change their physical bodies to suit their needs.
Because they're like genderless almost, right?
Until they're in one of the forms.
Like the mating form. Yeah.
That's freaking dope.
Yeah.
Is there a book about the Parshendi, or is this just like a plot device for the Stormlight stuff?
No. Yeah. You'll learn, like, book 4 is essentially like the Parshendi book.
The Parshendi, because I'm very interested in them. Like,
yeah.
I'm very
You'll probably
interested
like
in...
Rhythm of War. That's like my least favorite, but you'll probably like it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and so it was basically from the perspective of that, and there was like a mutual respect thing that Eshonai was like viewing Dalinar fighting, and was like, oh, that's a good warrior right there.
Yeah,
that's a good guy. Like I respect that. Like I said, sorry guys, I like had to rush through this part because I was like, the part that really stuck out to me was just the fact that Dalinar gave up Oathbringer, for Kaladin. Like that's it. When I finished this like a week ago, and I like remember today that I'm going to be talking about it. That's all I could remember because that's the part that stuck out to me the most.
It's awesome.
Chapter 69. That was the last chapter.
Nice.
Nice. It was titled Justice. Dalinar did meet with King Elhokar, confessed his like visions or his like madness. But reveals Sadeas's betrayal. Elhokar has been kind of like antsy about Dalinar. Like, is Dalinar trying to kill me? Because Elhokar's dad was essentially assassinated, so I don't blame him for having this like trauma response to thinking he's going to be assassinated. There was like a part where Dalinar like beats him.
Okay, I was wondering. If this
awesome.
happened yet.
Yeah.
So you know who sabotaged his saddle?
I don't remember that.
I swear that
it's revealed there. But when Dalinar just like
Dalinar's like, I could have killed you if I wanted to.
He beats him and then he's like, I could have done that right now. I could have killed you.
Yeah, he's
so
like,
you ain't to me.
Yeah, he's like, I would have killed you.
Is that the same time that he tells him? Oh, by the way,
he says Sadeas betrayed him. I'll have to go back to and
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't remember who it was.
No, he like tells him, he's like, you don't remember who sabotaged the saddle?
Mm-mm.
I mean, you don't have a whole lot left in this book.
No, I have part 5.
I don't remember this taking place in part 5. Like, it had to have been in that. It's in the last chapter, right, that you just read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I read it like a week ago. This is...
Well, who was it?
Because he, like, beats the snot out of him, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And then he's like, by the way, I'm courting your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But...
So
that's something I forgot to talk about. He's like essentially hooking up with, well, not hooking up, respectfully courting.
He's like, get used to it.
He goes, by the way, you're going to be calling me daddy.
No, but I'm pretty sure you just missed it because I'm pretty sure it's in that part that you find out Elhokar sabotaged himself. He cut his saddle loose.
Okay.
He was the one that did it because he was like, nobody is actually doing this, but he is that paranoid that he's like, I'm going to do it myself because the cut was too clean. Like, it had to have been him that cut it.
That would make sense.
So it was
was it revealed that he was the one that sabotaged his shard plate?
That I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to go back and revisit it because
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank. I do remember.
That might have been, and I could be wrong here. That might have been just a play by Sadius to get Dalinar on the battlefield with him. I don't know if that's true. But
That's a big brain move.
That kind of makes sense
Yeah, maybe.
because I don't remember that ever coming back into play.
Dalinar is also now the High Prince of War.
Badass.
Drop my $300 knife.
Yeah.
There's so much about this book that I love.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back through that last chapter just to make sure I got everything. But I'm gonna be starting part 5 tomorrow. I'm gonna finish off the book. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Like honestly, I haven't even finished the book, and I feel like I already want to give it a freaking 10, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the rest is essentially just one long epilogue.
Like going from freaking Diary of a Wimpy Kid to this.
Yep. No, it's good stuff, dude.
I'm liking the book. Like I said, I'm sorry that was so like jumbled and all over the place. I was just so into it, and I was like, shit, I need to take notes, man.
Yeah.
But no, dude, like that freaking awesome book. This is like I'm invested. You know, you guys will make fun of me a little bit, but it's like I've subbed to B Sandy on YouTube, and I've been like, you know, I listened to the State of Sanderson, and
Oh, yeah?
I'm like totally like invested in all that stuff now. I think it's really cool that
State of Sanderson just barely came out.
I know.
The 2025.
Yeah.
Is Ghostbloods coming out this year?
No. I think it's going to be another year or two.
Mistborn Era 3 is though.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also
Ghostbloods is Mistborn Era 3. Like, the whole trilogy is going to be Ghostbloods.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, what book's coming out this year then? Not this year, but 2026.
There's a secret project
Oh,
that's
yeah,
coming
fair.
out.
There's a collection of stories about Hoyt.
Oh, right. The Hoyt storybook collection. That'll be cool.
That will be cool, actually. I will
think
read
the
that.
Rock novella comes out.
Oh, I'll read that too.
Oh yeah, that was another thing I forgot to talk about. Kaladin was like trying to leave the camp, and like he just walked out, and he runs into Hoyt.
Yeah, that's a good
And
scene.
the flute story stuff. Sorry,
What-
I forgot.
Yeah.
What's the story on that one? Because
And there's like a ship and a crew, and they're like escaping towards something, but they end up having to like turn back, but they can't turn. Something crazy like that, and he gives them a flute, and he like runs away.
You've met Sigzil, though.
I believe so.
Sigzil is one of the Bridge 4 members.
Is Hoyt's
apprentice.
apprentice, yes.
So Sigzil's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Sigzil is, he has the
He's
same
the one. He's the world singer.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
think
world
that's
hopper or something like that.
Yeah.
But that flute is his.
Oh, okay.
Sigzil, he's like telling him, hey, give this to Sig. Pretty much.
Nice.
So, but Sigzil's cool. There's a whole book on Sigzil.
Really?
it's actually pretty good.
It's the Sunlit Man.
He's an important character.
Very important, yeah.
He's got his own book.
Yeah. He has his own freaking what is it? What's the last book? Wind and Truth? Wind and Truth, like I'd say like a quarter of that book is his. Well, moving on, Dave, you have finally finished The Way of Kings.
Yeah, I was in stasis for about a week, so I'm kidding. I was dead, and then I came back because I was like, oh crap, I gotta talk about The Way of Kings.
How does resurrection work from being cheese grated to death?
I was cheese grated to death?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you know that I have a fear of cheese graters? Because every time I use one, I slice my... No joke, I slice my thumb. I
That's
don't
how you
use
die.
cheese graters.
So
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Moving on. I did take some notes. I will say this. Part 4 was the ending of the book. And Part 5 was the MCU mid-credit and after-credit stuff. As soon as I just like viewed it that way, it made me love Part 5 even more because all of these questions and theories I had were literally answered. And then
which ones? Which specific?
So, one of the ones I distinctly I'll get there when I get there because I don't want to say it all. Of course, I didn't take notes. I lied.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No, you're okay. I think I loved it so much that I didn't take my notes, and then, yes. All right. I need to pull up the chapters because it goes by chapter. Okay, so Sea of Glass is going to be the first one. That one was insane because Shallan approaches Yasna, and essentially is like, like the ending of those like mystery shows where the sleuth is like just unraveling the entire plan for like a 10-minute monologue. Yeah, she was like, I had this plan to steal your soulcaster, and I did, and you soulcasted still. And
Okay, this was something I was like, do we talk about this? Did this happen yet? Do you know about this?
Yeah.
But now you know. Okay.
Yeah, so it didn't expressly say, like, Yasna did it with her broken soulcaster, but it kind of revealed, like, hey, you soulcasted the poison out of my blood, and that's why I had this reaction, and this, and that. And she's like, you don't have a real Fabrial. And Yasna is like trying to deny it, like, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. And then Shallan goes back to the Shadesmar. So first off, the fact that there's some voice that she's talking to, she's like let me in, and he's like, you need to tell me a really good truth to deepen our bond. And she's like, I killed my dad.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of figured something like that happened. But that was a fetching mic drop if I've ever seen one. And then she gets teleported in, and she's sinking in the glass, and then Yasna yanks her out, and Yasna, being the freaking bad bitch she is, she just controls the glass beads beneath her because she's been there. And the fact that these two people are special because they can soul cast without a Fabrial is just so awesome. And so here's my thing. I think Shallan is going to become one of my favorite characters because I'm 99% sure she has a shard blade. She has a shard blade, and she can soul cast without a Fabrial. Those are two really fetching powerful abilities.
I will say after this book, she is a lot more interesting.
Okay.
I agree.
I hated her in the beginning.
I'm a Shallan defender. I like the Shallan chapters.
Yeah, I hated her in the beginning. I'll admit it, but she has grown on me, and just realizing this was so cool. And so it ends with Yasna being like, "Okay, cool. I'll take you back in. I'll teach you how to soul cast and stuff."
I think one of the weakest points of Brandon Sanderson overall is his sense of humor. I just don't think B. Sandy is a funny guy at all. And so when he's writing Shallan, it's just like she's supposed to be like quirky, funny, smart girl.
I didn't get that at all.
No, and it doesn't come through at all. And it ends up bothering me more when he tries to do that with her. But she does get more complex.
Okay, because
with
with Yasna, I get very straightforward.
Oh yeah, Yasna's a boss.
Oh, are we talking about Shallan being quirky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, that does get annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Yasna's freaking hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yasna is just dope. Also, B. Sandy. Love the bath scene with Yasna. Hope there's more of that in the future.
I don't. What is he? He's brought this up twice now. What is he talking
really
about?
Did a number on him apparently.
What was the scene? I don't.
How
remember
many
this.
times did you listen to that scene there, Dave?
71.
Trying to remember.
In blood.
Are you
Okay, recorded in blood. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off. Recorded in blood, chapter 71. That was the chapter that Kaladin.
Part 5 is tiny.
Yeah,
I
part
didn't
five,
realize that.
I was like, this is the end of the book was justice. All of this is end credit stuff.
Yeah.
Recorded in blood was when Kaladin was ordered to meet with Dalinar in like a one-on-one, kind of just talking about how Kaladin's life was given back to him over a shard blade and trying to figure that out. And there's dialogue. I don't know how much of it is important other than just really establishing this like weird awkwardness where Kaladin just has this deep-seated hatred for Light Eyes, and he can't figure Dalinar out still because Dalinar just did the unthinkable and gave up his shards for a slave, for a bridgeman. And so Kaladin is still trying to figure him out. What's his play? What's his angle? He's cautious, but he's still like giving in. The end of the chapter ends with Dalinar giving Kaladin a cloak with the Kholin seal on it, the Kholin glyph on it, which is really cool because he says that you're a part of the family.
Yep.
And I liked that. That one hit. The Veristillion?
Now, one thing I do want to ask:
Veristillion?
does Dalinar yet know that there's something special about Cal, or is it just that he saved him? Is that where we're at yet?
I don't think he talked about Kaladin being
No,
able
Cal
to
Cal
storm
holds
breathe.
it at a secret.
Yeah,
the
'cause
entirety
he doesn't want to be
2
exploited.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't get brought up. The next chapter, we meet up with
Taravangian.
Taravangian and Zeth Sun Villano, Truthless of Shinovar.
Yes.
So it opens up with Zeth Sun Villano, Truthless of Shinovar, breaking into this castle. He's gone down
Wait,
the list.
who again are we talking about?
Zeth Sun Villano, Truthless of Shinovar.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Wore white on the day was to kill a king.
I showed Tori that. I said, "Here's the opening line of the book," and I showed it to her, and I'm like, "Does that not make you want to read this?" And she's too busy reading the Handsmaid sequel.
Where they
or
go?
Housemaid.
Where they go? I vomited into the toilet.
No, that's Throne of Glass.
We don't want to start a war with Throne of Glass. Sorry.
No, so I remember I asked you guys. Well, so all right, we'll get there. We'll get there. Sorry, I'm just really excited because I forgot.
Keep talking. I'm gonna go make sure the AC's on real quick.
So at this point in the book, one of the interludes, Zeth, his former master was killed, and there are these new guys who are like mysterious, who killed the guy that had his oath stone, and he throws him a list of names. And they're all like kings or really, really powerful people, and they have to be killed in a specific way, in a specific order. And he's like, okay. So where we pick up with Zeth at this point is he made it down to the last name on the list, which is Taravangian. We know Taravangian as the very humble old king of
Kind of a sweetheart.
Where's Yasna and Shalon? What's the name of that?
Carbranth.
Carbranth, yep.
Carbranth, yes. So he's the king there. He's known for his hospitals. He
Yeah.
makes hospitals to heal people, and it's awesome guy. So Zeth is going to go kill him. He breaks in, tries not to hurt any of the guards, and then he is instructed to say, I forgot what he was. It's not important. He was instructed to say a certain phrase before he killed the person.
He was supposed to say bazinga.
Yeah, he says bazinga. And that's like the code word.
That's not at all what he told him to say.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep it serious. When Dave's trying to talk,
He's hurting
about the
me.
books, when Dave's talking about the
He's
books,
physically
we
hurting me.
don't make bazinga jokes.
Hey, what are we talking about here? Why are you guys just Mike's muted?
So there is a phrase that Zeth had to speak to Taravangian to kind of just confirm, okay, cool. And then we learn that Taravangian is his master. He was the one that he's like, hey, kill all my friends. And Zeth is trying to figure him out. And he takes him into this big white room with a bunch of people laying on cots, and they're all like dying and sick. And I remember asking you guys what the fetch was going on at the beginning of the chapters, where it was like just some person, and then it says like who they were and like when they died. And we learn that Taravangian is like sick in the head. At least I think. I want to assume he's sick in the head, and he thinks that he can save Roshar from the impending doom.
Holy fetch! There's so much left in this series that he just doesn't know.
Yeah, he basically kills these people. He tries not to kill healthy people. He takes the people that are like essentially like beyond the point of return when it comes to their sickness. So he's like, I ethically kill them is the angle he's coming from. And Zeth is trying so hard not to break his like oath and murder him for what he's doing. And we learn that he believes that they're like seeing something that he thinks is the answer to their problem before they die. And so what did you guys call them? Death notes or
Death rattles.
Death rattles. So these death rattles are essentially the key to what Taravangian thinks is going to save Roshar, which was fetching insane. I don't know. I loved finally getting that answer, because that was one of the questions that kept reappearing, because every chapter opened up with one. So I'm like, what the heck is this? And so being able to learn, oh, these death rattles are this, that's awesome. Skip. Ghost Bloods. We learn about the Ghost Bloods a little bit. Not really anything. I mean, enough to make me want to care. I know that there's a book coming out, the first of 3, called Ghost Bloods. But we learned that Shalon's dad was associated with these dudes, and they're all very powerful people who work in the shadows trying to do something.
So the Illuminati.
They're
Kind of, yeah. They're kind of like Cosmere Illuminati.
They're viewed as bad guys from this point in the book, like not good people. If Shallan's dad was associated with them, and then the book ends with another high storm vision from Dalinar, and this one he is speaking.
Dadinar?
Yeah, I love Dadinar. Do you think he's got a dad bod? Do you think Dalinar's fetching shredded?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dalinar. Oh yeah.
I think of an older, like Geralt or Rivia with a big beard. That's what I think of.
I've always imagined him
With
as
just gray hair instead of white.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, that's how I've always pictured.
Like, you think like a long-haired, long beard Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about Russell Crowe
God, no,
currently,
is
or we're
he-
talking...
I think
I
he's
always
more-
imagine him clean cut.
I think when he's like
could've
when
sworn he has
he's
a beard.
when he's Blackthorn, I think that's when he looks like a bearded Russell Crowe, drunk all the time, just like
Spoilers.
killing everything.
Spoilers.
That's not a spoiler. You know he was
I don't
drunk.
want to know anything about the Blackthorns yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, you have Oathbringer to read, buddy.
It's book 3, dude. I gotta get through book 2 first.
Yeah.
You say get through. Dude, book 2's like the best one.
That's
Book
what
2 is the
everybody
best
says. Everybody says book 2 is the best one, but for whatever reason, I look at Oathbringer, and that's the name of the
I
sword that Dalinar
think-
had, and I just want to read that book.
Yeah.
I will say, I started Oathbringer, and I went more of a stop still than I did with...
So the fact that Sean didn't like it should get you jacked out of your mind.
Well, I didn't say I liked it. It was more of like I just had a standstill. Like, it was just more of like as I was reading it, like...
Very
I-
exposition heavy.
Right, and I just had more of a standstill out of it compared to book number 2. Like, I literally could not turn off my audiobook because I
Brandon
wanted to listen to it.
Sanderson has said that with The Way of Kings, he wrote a book that was like meant to please everybody. And for rewarding them for sticking through, The Way of Kings, 1,000-page book, he gave them more of what they got in the first one. He gives you more, and he gives you even higher highs, and it's what the fans want. And then he said, after that point, he's like, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm telling my story. And that's where Oathbringer comes in, and it feels different. Like, Oathbringer feels different than Way of Kings, than Words of Radiance, and then Rhythm of War is very science-heavy, where if you want to know about, like, how everything works, like, the mechanics, the science of it all.
I like that, like, writing board that they can use to telecommunicate with each other.
Yeah, you'll learn all about that, and then Wind and Truth is very... It's the weirdo.
That's the last book in the Storm.
It is the redheaded stepchild of the series, I think.
You either love it or you hate it, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, but that high storm vision, he's talking to a dude that he realizes he can't talk to, and these visions that he thought he was involved in, he can't directly speak with this voice that was talking to him. This voice was just like speaking not into like the void, but he's the Almighty. The dude was God. He was talking to God, which was dope. And it ended with him saying, "And now I'm dead," or something like that. And it's like, oh, fetch. So I'm pretty sure that's Odium.
Honor.
What?
That's not a spoiler, is it?
What?
That it's Honor that he's talking to?
No, it didn't talk about who he was talking to.
I think it's a
in
book
that
2.
moment.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think it's a book 2, Jay.
If he doesn't remember, Dave seems to be taking pretty good notes of
I'm
everything.
taking really good notes. Better than I did my first time.
One of the ones I forgot was from Hoyd's perspective.
That's the very epilogue, right? That's the epilogue.
Yes, that's the epilogue. The end, where there's like just this dude who's like ripped and almost naked and has like long hair.
Is it Taln?
It like he has a really long weird name, and he like opens up. I think this was at the Kholin Kingdom castle.
Yeah.
And he like uses his massive
one.
shard blade to open up the gate, and he like comes in and collapses, and Hoyt's like, oh, like fashionably late as always, or something like that. Or like just on time, or you might be too late, and then it ends there. And I'm pretty sure that's the missing Knight Radiant from the beginning of the book. That's what I think. That's my theory. Take notes.
Keep talking. I'm trying to find. Yeah, Talon Ellen, Stone, Sue, Herald of the Almighty, the desolation has come. Oh God, it has come and I have failed. Yeah, Talm. It's Talm.
Tom.
And then you get this sick little picture of Bridge 4 at the end around the campfire with Rock with his stew. Them some boys. Them
some boys.
Them some boys right there.
Can you transmit that picture?
Can you see it? That's our crew right there. That's our Bridge 4.
Oz, if Dave was a member of Bridge 4, which member would he be?
If Dave was a member of Bridge 4, Dave would be Moash, I think. I think we're going Moash.
Dave, how do you
for
feel
Dave.
about Moash?
Wow. Okay.
I think that's a solid pick.
I think you would be a good Moash.
Thank you.
Do you like Moash?
Yeah, I like Moash.
Okay.
Who am I?
You're Teft.
Oh, that's lovely. I know you think you're Kaladin.
I am Kaladin, Stormblade. I'm Cal. Sean would be. I think he'd be Lopen. He'd be the
the
one-armed,
Lopen.
one-armed
Yeah.
Herdazian.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should take that as an insult or not, but I'll take it.
Why would you take that as an insult?
You don't like the
Lopen's
Lopen?
freaking bad A, dude.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just why I don't have one arm.
Yeah, good book though. Good book.
All right, Dave, I have some questions for you.
Let's hear it.
So, prior to this, you had never read a single book outside of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, correct? You've read like Lost Stars. You've read like a couple Star Wars books.
Only
nothing,
Lost Stars.
nothing on this level.
Yeah, this is. Forgive me for saying this wrong, but from what I have read, I view this as what's known as high fantasy, high level literature, fantasy novel stuff, or not novel, but fantasy literature. Like
Sure.
This was some high level stuff that I don't think I would have ever thought about reading. I remember, because you guys have been reading this stuff for a while, and I've known you guys have liked this stuff for a while, and I just never showed or cared at all. If it weren't for this channel, I don't think I would have read it.
Yeah. But how was the experience? How did it go reading Way of Kings? Was there a point where you were like hooked? And when was that point?
I'd say partway through part 2. Getting rid of Shallan, like the early Shallan stuff I did not like. It was just hard to grasp onto, but Kaladin, I was just captivated at this story of soldier turned slave turned Suicide Squad guy, Bridgman. And Kaladin was the one that I leaned on through because thank goodness every single part had his story in it. So I think if Kaladin was not consistent throughout the Way of Kings, I think I would have had a harder time. But being able to grow attached to his story and follow it with sprinkles of other characters was what made it good. Dalinar coming into the fray is where I was like, okay.
Who was your favorite character?
Oh, Dalinar.
Dalinar.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'd say Dalinar followed closely by Kaladin. Kaladin is a very, very close second. Almost to the point that it might be one of those things that I know you guys don't like, but when I'm like, ask me on a Monday and it'll be Kaladin, ask me on a Tuesday it'll be Dalinar. Like, it's that close, but I think I just really like the leader that Dalinar is presenting himself, what he wants to be, his intentions, and how he treats his people. Like, Dalinar is the leader that I want to be, and I loved that.
Yeah, I agree.
We do love Dalinar.
What was your peak moment in this book? Like, what was the point you were like, oh, heck yeah, this is the best?
Is the follow up going to be what was the lowest point?
Yeah.
Like, what did I hate, or
like what was
the lowest emotion?
No, like what was like the hardest to get through this book? Like, what did you struggle with?
So,
go with your high first. I want to
my
talk about the
high.
positive. What was the moment you shot your fist in the air and screamed?
Like screamed like fetch yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kaladin getting his life back, like Dalinar, like just digging his freaking shard blade into the rock,
good one.
Just like my blade for your bridgeman.
Yeah.
Like, that was a dope part. Like, I kind of, to add to that, like the biggest emotion that I remember feeling was when that Light Eyes High Prince betrayed Kaladin for the shards. That was like the biggest, like, what the F.
Agreed.
So yeah, just to add on to that, those are like the two parts that stick out to me in terms of
And-
like where I
and
had
to
the
give you-
most emotion.
To give you some advice, I'll say what my dad said to me when I was reading it, and I'm like, does this guy catch a break? I came up to him, I remember reading that, and at that point right there, I was like, hey, come on. I like threw the book down, and I was like, does this guy catch a break? Does Kaladin get a freaking break? And he said he gets his. And that's all I'm going to say, is
I
he
love
gets
that.
his.
I love that.
So be fetching prepped for that.
Now, I want you to imagine a little 17-year-old Jay with no one to talk to about these. All right, that's where I was at.
That's
I didn't
tough.
have a single person that understood what the fetch I was talking about, and in order to get them to listen to me, I had to get them to read a 1,000-page book. That's where I was at.
It was definitely a lot worse than the situation I was in. I can't talk to these guys about it during the week. It's very difficult. So, and I can't even talk to Tori about it. So it's like my weeks were broken up like that, where I was like, I want to talk to somebody, and nobody I know is reading this book or has read this book.
Now, every one of you have had the luxury of having somebody to talk to about this with. I didn't get that until after I got home from my mission.
You
I had to sit on
you
this
brave
for
soul.
2 whole years. You're darn right I am. And fetch you for being facetious about that, but thank you for saying
You're
that.
very brave. That's what I'm saying.
Oz, what was your next question?
What was like the hardest thing to get through with this book?
The early Shalon chapters.
Because
no
okay,
doubt.
we threw you in with ankle weights on, with arm bands, with chains around your wrists. You had no experience reading, and you read a 1,000-page book.
Tome,
and you
if you will.
freaking did it. These 2 books. This is what Dave read. These 2. Okay, when a book makes this noise. Okay, can you lift my mic up? A book makes this noise. This is what Dave read. That's what Dave read. Okay, so
I
you
felt
should
that
be-
in space.
You should be proud of yourself, buddy.
I am. I really am. And I think my wife is sick and tired of hearing me talk about it.
Well, when's she going to read it?
I don't know. Well, I think she's sick and tired of hearing me talk about how proud of myself I am. Because, yeah, we'll be like getting ready for bed, and it just like randomly hits me. I'm like, I read The Way of Kings. in like, not counting the breaks that I took, like, because I did take like 2 weeks total off, but those were like weeks coinciding with family holidays and stuff. About a month. Took me about a month to finish this.
That's
And,
about how long it took me.
That's a good amount of time, I think.
like, honestly, I haven't picked up a book since high school. And so, yeah, like the last time I read and enjoyed it was Diary of a Wimpy Kid in elementary school. So it's like, that's where I was coming from. And yeah, like, honestly, I think you guys equipped me with
Oh yeah.
the ability to just take anything on. Like, did you have any other questions? Because I think this is a perfect segue into...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I honestly, like, these guys, like, they equipped me with the chutzpah, the
Oh, real quick, what do you give it out of 10?
fetching 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah,
My boy.
like, honestly, this book marks such a special moment for me that I am actively saving up to get the leather bound of it. Just
I would
to
wait.
have it
I'd
on my
hold
shelf.
off because I'd wait until you can like just set some money aside so you have enough when he does come out with like signed versions because it's gonna happen. He's
Does
gonna
he
have like
do signed ones of ones?
oh
that have already
yeah,
come out?
oh yeah, he does them all the time. Right
Okay.
now, I think he's doing like the 3rd Mistborn book.
I would love a signed one. I did. I haven't told you guys this. I did send a message to Brandon Sanderson on Instagram, just giving him my brief thoughts, and then I did get a couple emails.
Oh wow, cool.
And I was gonna send like a full blown email with my thoughts because I'm sure he gets this all the time, but I think that I'm one of those awesome instances that I think he would love to hear about, where it's like, dude, like, I came from nothing, and this was insane, and I loved every moment of it, minus the Shalon stuff in the beginning, but that's just...
Yep. When people ask me, like, oh, where do I start with Brandon Sanderson? Where do I start in the Cosmere? It's always like, okay, well, I can give you, like, the easy answer, and I can't promise you that you're going to be hooked, and it's Tress of the Emerald Sea. That's my go-to. I'm like, if you just want to have, like, a fun read, and you just want to like trust in Brandon Sanderson that it's going to give you like a Princess Bride-esque feel, read Tress. But if you trust me and you're on board,
you'll take my hand and
you
follow
can,
me,
and you can plow through 1,000 pages, I can promise you this is going to be the best book you've ever read in your entire life.
I would agree with that. Like I think for anybody who wants to get into Brandon Sanderson, I think The Way of Kings is the only way to go.
I think, yeah.
This has, and I'm in such a unique position because all the books are out. I don't have to wait for the next one to come out. But it's like I think it does a good job setting the ground floor, and from here it's only going to be better. And I appreciate you guys for that.